how effective were these methods? Because you're only teaching them, making them more aggressive.
Yeah, violence.
You're only teaching them that the best response to behavior or misbehavior is violence.
There's a lot that even used to tell you, they will even tell you that I will beat you till you see mark on your body.
Exactly.
And they will not leave you until they see mark.
There's some kind of beating that you be flogged, that you go and think about your life and like, did I really deserve this kind of punishment?
When you want to like punish people for their acts, think of ways that you can punish them. Let's not be the most extreme.
We don't just carry around and then slap the next person beside you because it's something wrong.
Think of more creative ways to handle situations, to deal with misbehavior.
And imagine you looking at your child now, stop that thing. Stop that thing. And the child does not want to stop. Like, you'll be tempted to use force.
I think the next thing I should actually be thinking of doing now is now taking the person to a counselor.
Exactly.
Hi guys, welcome here to another episode of Timeline. It's good to be back. I'm back like I never left. My name is Paul, and with me is
Joanese.
And also we have the beautiful
Jennifer Kizito.
Exactly. Actually, like that name has a ring to it. Kizito.
Abby?
Yeah.
Like,
really
why are you not doing that kind of DJ vibes? Have you ever worked with DJ before?
Well, I think I aspired to be. There was this.
DJ Paul.
I aspired to be at a point in time.
Okay.
But then, it's not my calling.
Don't worry, it will come back. It will come back. Receive it.
I'm not sure it's coming back.
Okay.
I was not good. Well, today we'll be on Timeline. We'll be talking about corporal punishment. Corporal punishment is the intentional use of physical force to inflict pain or difficulties or discomfort on someone, and by means of either branding, flogging, spanking, or sometimes mutilation. Branding in the sense that they use hot iron to make a mark on your body.
That can be very, very
painful. Very, very painful. And all of this actually traces back to the very ancient times. According to UNICEF, children between the age of 2 and 4 are being abused by either their teachers or their caregivers within the age of 2 and 4 per year. Not even like this year goes 300, next year 300, and it's a lot actually.
That's a lot of number.
Yes.
Now, let's try to go back to where this is coming from. I think the historical context of this corporal punishment is that if you date back to the ancient times of Rome and Greece, countries, Italy, Japan, China, these countries, they actually made use of flogging, caning, just to instill discipline and to make sure that these children are actually doing the right thing, just to maintain law and order. I don't even know. But these countries actually made sure that they imbibed the culture of caning, of flogging, and also and they can even put you on the streets, like shame you very well, like shame. They'll put you very well. They'll put you very well. And it was not really that funny. Thank God I was not even born then, because I don't know how I would have faced it.
Again, were you planning on flouting the laws of the land?
Well,
so you used to break laws, right?
It's not like that.
Oh,
no,
really?
Let's take it easy.
Okay. Well, again, I think after the ancient times, right, philosophers like John Locke came out and they were like, okay, fine, we know we're using corporal punishment, but again, it's not the best means. Exactly, it's not the best form of punishing anybody that offended, especially in schools, actually, because again, the effects of these things, right, are very, very numerous. And that brings us fast. So what are these effects? What are the effects of corporal punishment on people?
Yeah, so as we're talking about this, I'm thinking how effective were these methods that they were using.
Exactly.
I'm sure they were thinking about the fact that it had immediate effects.
Yes.
Because imagine flogging someone, person stops, but it had more advanced effects. So we are looking at the fact that it has immediate like effects where people are begin to behave well.
Yeah.
But we were talking about the fact that also at the end of the day, it has an adverse effect also.
Yeah.
So what are the adverse effects? We've seen, psychology has seen that this use of corporal punishment on people has very serious adverse effects. We have children. We notice that children who are inflicted with corporal punishments usually are more aggressive than the others. Because you're only teaching them, making them more aggressive.
Yeah, violence.
You're only teaching them that the best response to behavior or misbehavior is violence.
Actually, a particular research from WHO actually states that the use of corporal punishment leads to increased aggression and also reduces the cognitive behavior of such an individual.
Exactly.
And the thing is that you think that you are actually solving a problem, but you are increasing it.
Exactly.
I think everything still still have limits, because if you say okay, there shouldn't be corporal punishment, you are not still like it will still be there,
No, again, like I feel like that's not bring us to the ethics behind it.
Yeah.
Because unlike, for example, if you say that you want to sentence someone to 5 years in jail, for example, there's an ethic behind it, meaning that once the person is in jail, you take the person through rehabilitation process, things like that. It's expected, right? All of those things have ethics. But for corporal punishment, right, how you flog someone is not the same way I'll flog someone.
Exactly.
In fact, how you flog someone today is not the same way that you flog someone tomorrow. Even if it's that same person, even if it's that same offense, even if it's the same number of strokes, right? It can't be the same. Both children and adults, again, at the end of the day, they are people.
Exactly. And we are all learning, we are growing.
Exactly.
So if we are talking about growth and development, there is always going to be changes.
Sure.
So in order for people to change, they have to keep learning, making mistakes, and keep growing.
Again, after all of these things now, okay, this person is aggressive and all of that. Now let's go to the psychological effects on people. Because if you are being beaten, right, depending on kind of cane, actually, there's some kind of cane beating that you be flogged, that you go and think about your life and like, did I really deserve this kind of punishment? What are these psychological effects and also the physical impacts on people that
go through corporal punishment?
Yes.
Okay, so physical impact. Imagine we just talked about that one of the things that happen with corporal punishment is branding.
Yeah.
Imagine seeing marks on your body. You have marks on your body to tell that you were punished. So you've been punished for the crime or for the misbehavior, but at the end of the day, there is something they are living with on your body.
Let me don't lie. There's someone that even used to tell you. They will even tell you that I will beat you till you see mark on your body.
Exactly.
And they will not leave you until they see mark.
Exactly. So these are the physical effects. We can also overemphasize the fact that you can be dishing out corporal punishment and the person gets injured to the point where maybe a body organ is damaged or something like that. So these are all the physical effects. Then we'll talk about the psychological effects. It affects cognitive behavior. There are many children that can't really study, can't really learn. It affects their learning ability because they're thinking, they're anxious. They're thinking about...
They're second guessing their thoughts. Like, okay, if I should do, if I'm wrong.
What if I'm wrong?
Yes.
Because they already used to being flogged, being punished.
So again, they're not very expressive at the end of the day. They're usually boxed.
So they're like always, that anxiety makes them make more mistakes than they will not.
The right thing.
Exactly. So these are... And we cannot overemphasize low self-esteem. Imagine if you have marks on your body, how do you go about your daily activities?
You won't be proud.
There are people that have marks on their head, on parts of their body that they don't want to show.
Yes.
They're like many children, you see them. If you want to open that part of their body, they
guard it. Especially the ones that have been burnt. Like some of them, they go through iron burn, hot water, fire. Like this one is not like it's accidental. It's intentional.
Deliberate.
Again, like as of today now, here in 2024, we have about 66 countries that have actually banned the use of
thank God.
They have banned corporal punishment from their legal system, their educational system, and even in households. We have countries like Sweden, for example. That
I know they will be the ones to ban it. I was part of them last year.
Again, and what even interests me is the fact that as of 2020, right, there were just 60. And now we have 6 countries now additional to it. And I feel like that's actually, it's encouraging, right?
Yeah.
But again, if you look at it based on percentage now, is a very small percent of countries that have actually banned it. So again, what do you think are the controversies right now that are probably making some countries to look better to ban it or not?
Well, just like we mentioned from the onset, and I was talking about effectiveness, many countries believe that corporal punishment is very effective. They believe that if you hurt someone or inflict pain on them, they will remember that and not do it again.
Yeah.
But as much as these controversies are there, they believe that it's acceptable. We've practiced this over the years and we've seen
it's from our forefathers.
Exactly, and we've seen the effectiveness.
It's a culture.
It's a culture. So why would we want to change it? There are some, even though we mentioned some developed countries, it will surprise you to find out that if you go to those developed countries, even in there are some cities, like very small cities that might still be practicing these things. Why? Because they believe that
our culture,
this thing is effective. We can't just stop it. It gives us the results.
Let me give you guys a story. There's this friend of my mom's, right? Her daughter is actually schooling abroad.
Yeah.
So the woman is our very close family friend. So she was always saying, this her daughter don't used to hear word. This her daughter don't used to hear word. So my mom was like, calm down, that kind of thing. So she now saying, in fact, she's going to that country to go and see her daughter.
Yeah.
When she went there, guess what she did? Although she has been telling the daughter to do one particular thing, like the daughter is just, she likes to do things that is, you will tell her do this thing. It's whatever that is in her mind that she will do.
Yeah.
So the mother was like, I've been timing her since. And she can't bring her, like, she can't tell her to come back to Nigeria because she's schooling. So the person that have to go there is my mom's friend. So my mom's friend went there. According to the woman, she said she took her, like, they went inside the room. She now like increased the sound of the music, that if you see beating, she beat the nonsense out of her. And then she took flight and came back to Nigeria. Just like that. She just went to beat her for although they have money, she just went to beat her. and although it's like a serious issue because she was telling her to do something and she was being slow about it. So she went there, they did it, but she later beat her to make sure that this, for the delay and for the pain you caused me. And that was how she came back.
But again, in countries like Sweden now, that particular thing, you are going to go to jail for it.
Jail, straight up.
Again, not just jail, you also lose custody of your child for doing something like that. Well, Sweden was the first country to ban it, so they have proper standards to all of these things as far back as the 1990s. I think 1976 or thereabouts. So before everybody even started accepting to ban corporal punishment, Sweden has already accepted, and I feel maybe because Sweden was on the leading side as regards corporal punishment. Well, we'll go on a short break now. Once we return, we'll move on to the discussion on alternative methods to corporal punishment, alternative things that can be done instead of inflicting pain on people. My name is Paul, and this timeline will be right back.
Hey everyone, let's face it, our world today experiences numerous challenges. And guess what? Our community isn't off the hook either. Most of the world issues are either not talked about enough or never talked about at all. But here on Timeline, we've got you covered. We dive deep into issues that affect us every day, leaving behind footprints of wisdom, knowledge, and solutions. Think of it like a roadmap that keeps you on the track for success. So buckle up, because in this new season of Timeline, we're taking another trip through the past, the present, and navigate into a more promising future. Again, we're talking solutions, people. And let's make one thing clear. This is not your average blah, blah, blah convo. This is real talk with a side of inspiration and a sprinkle of wow. I never thought about it like that. I'm your host on this impactful ride. Together, we'll tackle the tough stuff, laugh a little, and find ourselves on the path to positive change. So what are you waiting for? Season 2 of Timeline will be loaded. Let's get started. Hop in and let's drive straight into the hearts of issues shaping our world. Let's go. Oh, one more thing. Hit that subscribe button and let's take this ride together. Every day, amazing stories of hope and tenacity unfold across the globe. On Hued Hour, we dive into these inspiring tales and discuss the vital work being done in the humanitarian and development space. Humanity has never faced a shortage of challenges, yet we rise stronger through teamwork and determination. Though these remedies are often underreported, on Hued Hour, we advocate sustainable solutions. We bring you the latest and most impactful news on how lives are being changed. We engage with young change makers and experts who provide valuable insights into relief efforts and the challenges faced by local communities through a global perspective. Join us every Wednesday by 8 a.m. on Hued Network's YouTube channel as we embark on this journey of positive change.
Yeah, welcome back. This is your Timeline. And we're talking about corporal punishment today. It's been a wonderful conversation so far. And we've been going back and forth. Different opinions on the table today, I must say. As well, let me even ask Seth now. More personal question. Are you with team corporal punishment or team no corporal punishment?
Why are you dragging me on top of this table?
It's better we drag ourselves now.
We are
Please don't put
elastic.
me on this table. Let's just pretend that you didn't ask that question.
Okay, fine. We'll pretend that. So again, I want to ask now, what are alternative methods that can be for alternative punishment? Instead of beating someone, instead of branding the person, instead of different kind of, like, thinking of it alone, is giving me.
Like in 2007 now,
Yeah.
there was something that New Zealand did.
Yeah.
You know, one of the countries that also banned it. So I think one of the methods they use in providing another like strategy, and instead of using that whole violence act, is to carry out sensitization to parents, like parenthood, like trying to teach them, counsel them on how to rear their children in a non-violent way. I think that was a very, very like good approach.
That's a good
because
approach from
normally
the
children
government.
are not really easy to train.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
you see them doing a lot of stuff, and imagine you looking at your child now. Stop that thing. Stop that thing. And the child does not want to stop. Like you'll be tempted to use force, but well, New Zealand thought it's very important around 2007 to say, okay, let us counsel you on how to train your child or your children in a non-violent way. And with that, it has actually been helping.
Well,
And by the way, I'm going to New Zealand tomorrow so that I can see if they are doing it.
so again, I'll use myself as an example, right? I have a cousin that is little, is about 3 to 5 years old now. I think 5 years old now. So I think when it was 3 or 2, I can't remember the age specifically. He did something to me. I told him not to go somewhere and like inside the house now. And then he went to that place and scattered it. And I told him that I should go and face the wall.
You should face the wall.
Yeah, that's what I also did.
Just like that.
Yes. And the next thing I just say, was and I was inside, I'm like, wait, I didn't even touch you, I already cried. So like, it was at that instant I knew that, okay, things are already changing now. Me now, for example, I know that when I was growing up, if you ask me to go and face the wall, I'd probably be there and play with myself with the wall, playing with the wall. But now they see that thing as something that they've done
Too
something
hard,
bad.
yeah.
Exactly. Not like, oh, I've annoyed this person to the extreme, and then the next punishment is that, oh, yeah, go and face the wall. Exactly.
I think I'll okay.
I think that, one of the reasons why it could work for your cousin is because he or she has not yet experienced the extreme part of punishment.
Okay.
So little things can make them change their behavior.
Yeah.
So the problem with corporal punishment is that once you inflict very serious pain on people, you have set a threshold for them. So you're building, you're just the threshold,
you're pushing it.
Exactly. They're pushing. So when you do something less, they don't feel the pain.
The impact.
So they don't feel the impact. So when you want to punish people for their acts, think of ways that you can punish them. Let it not be the most extreme thing to do.
Yes.
Think of the most simplest things to do that are effective. In psychology, we believe in reward and punishment. So when you do something good, we reinforce that behavior by rewarding you, giving you something to encourage you to keep up that behavior.
Good work. Yeah.
But then when you do something wrong, we give you punishment. That's negative reinforcement. Now we punish you for that behavior so that you can desist from it.
How do you punish?
So that's where I'm coming to right now. So you do things that, take for example, and in most schools now they implement this stuff of giving children stickers when they do something right. Like when you do things that are right, like positive behaviors. What they do is that they put stickers on you.
Stickers,
stickers.
On the stickers, or stars. They will just give you medals, tiny drawings. But what's on it is you're a good girl, you did right, you did this.
Oh, that's so cute.
Do you see?
They don't do it in my primary school.
So that's what they're implementing these days. So most times when children come back home, you see it on their school bags or on their foreheads. Actually, you will see it. So meanwhile, when somebody misbehaves, you take away that sticker from the person. Or you punish person by saying time out. You take person to a part of the classroom and leave the person there alone by himself.
Nobody should talk to him.
Nobody talks to him.
Serious isolation.
Exactly. So, or if it's in the more developed countries, you know that they will do things like detention. They will keep you after school. Everybody has gone home. You are alone in class with a teacher and you are reading your book. By the time your parents wait for you at home and they are not home, after some time, they're wondering why is this person not home?
Or maybe basically they must have informed their parents that, okay, your child did this and serving punishment in school.
So all these things, by the time the parents will be like, why did you do this? Your parents are aware. And
can I ask a personal question? Okay. You talked about something about sharpening or if you give a child an extreme punishment and then you now give him a less impactful punishment, the child will not feel it. How do you try to bring that child back in a way that the child is already used to a more hectic kind of punishment, but you still have to punish that child, but the child is now used to maybe
the extreme already,
but you don't want to use that extreme anymore?
The truth is just that's a very tricky situation, because when someone is just you've eaten the hottest food ever, and then you're now thinking of how do I and the person is used to eating hot food.
Yeah.
When you give the person a cold food, the person does not find it as interesting do you understand what I'm saying?
So are you saying that we should continue giving the child?
You can't keep giving them. There is always something called taking a break. You can leave the child. Don't give the person negative that adverse kind of punishment or any form of punishment for some time. That advice, keep the person away from that form of punishment for some time. There are psychological punishments. I just told you about how you isolated somebody from the entire class.
I think it's not that's more like prison, little prison. You're thinking of yourself.
We're talking about school now. This corporal punishment is done both in schools and at home.
Yes,
exactly. So now I'm talking about the home.
Even at home, imagine he just mentioned that told his cousin to go and face the wall. Things are changing. That's more. I stayed with a family when I came here. Their punishments are not flogging. They will tell you things to go and copy the Bible. So these are creative ways. So the child is not just learning the Bible, moral stuff now. He's also learning words. You're picking up words from the Bible. You're learning. At the same time, you are also being punished. So it's about being creative, don't just focus on inflicting pain.
Exactly.
Pain, you're only increasing the threshold of how much the person can take. That's why by the time they get to a teenage age, when you want to inflict pain on them, they don't feel it. they don't feel the impact because they already used to pain all their
On the
life.
eyesight, right?
Yeah. So
I used to have this senior in secondary school. His name was Senior Kujera. There's no cane that you want to beat this guy. He's not moving. Like, it's more like, oh yeah, lie down there. He's going to lie down, and then there's no expression on his face that something is touching him. It's straight,
That
flat.
child has been tortured.
So exactly. So just like I said, right? Everybody has. It's more like elastic, for example. If you carry elastic and then you carry it to a particular point, it's going to break. And once it breaks and it's not elastic again, at that moment when a child reaches the break point, there's no coming back again. It's there forever. Like, no matter what you want to bring, if it's not up to that break point, it's more like going to the gym. Today, you go to the gym, you go and carry 50 kg, and then tomorrow you go carry 50 kg. After a month, you're not feeling 50 kg again. You are expected to move higher because at that moment, 50 kg is more like you carrying pure water from the floor. So that's actually what happens. And again, I think in some cases now, when all of these things don't work, carry this person to not corner, it did not work. Carry this person in isolation, it did not work. Collect biscuits from the person, it did not work. I think the next thing I should actually be thinking of doing now is now taking the person to a counselor.
Exactly. That would be the best thing to do because, one thing I found out is that one of the reasons why our parents or people from the older generation had issues with some kids is because they were saying this child is so stubborn, it does not hear, but you don't know that child has ADHD. You don't know that taking the child to a counselor would have just said, okay, this child has attention deficit disorder, that's why he's always restless. That's why he's always everywhere, hyperactive. Do you understand? So if they're able to detect this thing, you know that this child is not actually stubborn, something is wrong with the child, and then the right thing to do. So if you've tried everything, like, let's the last resort. Even I don't even go for corporal punishment. I would never lean towards that side. But let's be that you have done everything that is necessary.
But I want us to agree on one thing. It's not that I'm anti-corporal punishment or I'm pro-corporal punishment. But we all believe that the training of our parents, the corporal punishment pattern of our parents actually kind of shaped our life till today.
Okay, now
let us agree.
No, I won't agree on that.
You will not agree?
And I'll tell you why.
Okay, please go ahead.
Because it's not everybody that corporal punishment works effectively on.
Okay.
And the reason why, that's why I won't agree, Seth. Because
it's not everybody.
If it's something that should agree, right, it should work on everybody. Meaning that corporal punishment should be meted on you, it works for you, it worked on you, it worked on me. But again, there's some people, right, that it didn't work for. But what he did rather was to create, I don't know which word to use right now.
What he said, what Paul said, the way I dish out corporal punishment is not the way he will do that. The intensity is different. Who is telling us how many number of lashes to give somebody?
Exactly.
Some people go as far as branding somebody with iron and stuff like that. You don't.
That's like, for me, that's like
the severe use iron on me.
Yeah.
So I'm okay. Do you understand what I'm saying? So what we are looking at is those extremes. They are not necessary.
Yeah.
You're only making people.
Before we go with extreme safe,
people.
you see that start safe, we should not even start it.
Exactly.
Extreme is too far. That starts right, we should not start, because even that start safe has its own effect on children.
So what we're saying now is that there should be punishment, but it shouldn't go extreme.
Yeah.
That's what we're saying.
There should not be physically
exactly.
Yes,
your intention is to inflict pain.
But
physical pain now.
But trying to make sure that this child understand that, like, whenever the child errs, the child understand that, okay, you have erred now.
Communication.
But again,
communication.
You see, right? Sometimes a child does something and the next thing that you do is to beat the child. You didn't even tell that, okay, this is what you did that is wrong.
This is how you should have done it.
Exactly. So again, it's important because even we as adults, when we do things that are wrong, we don't just carry a hand and then slap the next person beside us because you did something that is wrong. But rather, what we do is call the person to order, talk to the person one-on-one. Okay, this is what you did. I think we're already
on our personal recommendations already.
You should not try to, like, you shouldn't inflict pain on anybody. I'm so against corporal punishment. I teach, right? And sometimes I'll tell you, strength will push you to the limits as a teacher or even a caregiver. they will push you to the limits, and
Just like the way you did.
and I'm not sure. I was not a troublemaker in school. That was
No,
very,
even to your
I
parents.
was
You don't
very
know. You might
gentle.
not. You might not really remember.
so. But again, like it shouldn't. People will push you to the limits,
Yeah.
but the only thing that we should do, right, is to remember that we're the adults in whatever situation that there is, and try to calm ourselves down first. Don't melt out punishment in anger. That's very important.
Yes.
Because if you are melting out in anger, the anger will not, it's not reduced at that point. Too. It's going to be going up. It's more like, I'm going, yes, I am. So let's move on now. So what are your final thoughts on these particular issues? What do you think can be done to address this issue in our countries, in our communities, and globally?
Okay, so like we've been saying, or I've been saying, one of the things that corporal punishment or punishments that inflict pain on people do is that it teaches children that the best response to any situation is violence. That when people misbehave or they do things you don't like,
Next thing
that
is to
the
go
next thing you should
eye
do
for
is
eye.
to inflict pain on the person so that the person understands the weight of what the person
Clearly,
has
the
done.
gravity of the.
So I would advise parents, caregivers, or people in authority who handle children or people correct people, that they should think of more creative ways to handle situations, to deal with misbehavior. Be more calculative than reactive when dealing with kids or adults or anybody that is under your wings.
Yeah, in the spirit of calculation, I'll talk about sensitization. This thing, like I'll mention different places for sensitization: schools, homes, correctional centers. These places and every other places, markets. It's very important for people to understand that corporal punishment is very, 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 very annoying, and it's not good for the human race. So we need to understand that by the time you inflict pain on people, it's what you get, the result you get from it. It might not really come back to you directly, but it will result to violence in the society. And we are trying to make this world a better place, a peaceful environment. And if you continue with the corporal punishments, it's not going to yield that fruit that we are trying to plant or whatever. But what I'm trying to say is, especially in our correctional centers, we used to hear of stories of even in normal investigation, people are being tortured in ill manner, and it's not really a good experience. So, and at some point, we even later find out in some cases that those people that have been tortured are innocent. So it doesn't make sense to me. There are different approaches. There are different ways, just like the popular saying, to kill a rat. So, or to catch a rat.
But then,
no, there are different ways
to kill a rat.
Yes.
So, but again, another thing again, right? For every force, there's an opposite reaction. And so for every pain that you inflict on someone, it has an effect one way or the other on the person. Apart from the fact that the person feels the pain at that instant, sometimes the pain grows into other things in such a person. So it's important for us to educate our environments, educate people, parents, teachers, caregivers, even our lawmakers as well, so that to ensure that there's no corporal punishments anywhere in the law, and ensure that there's legal backing to support the bid against inflicting pain on people. It's very important. I think that's what we'll be able to take on this particular episode. And don't forget, tell a friend to tell a friend that it's not right to inflict pain on your neighbor. Again, the road is meant for the goats and not for human beings. Thank you for watching Timeline. Don't forget to like, share, and comment in the comment section. My name is Paul. Our name is
Joanese.
And also we have
Jennifer Kizito.
Until we meet again. Bye.
Bye, guys.